Girls of Reddit, what is the best way a guy you don't know can start a conversation without being creepy or annoying? Gum's gotten mintier lately. Guy here that learned a hard lesson. It's not about how to approach girls. Learn how to approach people. The easiest way is to compliment every time something catches your eye. To everybody. Not something they were born with or generic. Things like, I love the pattern on that shirt. Or, hey, that necklace is super cool. I've even complimented makeup. The next step is to read their response. Did they ignore you or just give a simple thanks and move on? Move on. They took the compliment but aren't interested in conversation. Did they get mad? Keep practicing. You picked something they weren't intentionally trying to show you. Did they brighten up and start talking? Carry on. Friend. You nailed it. The idea is simple. They picked the thing you complimented because they thought it looked good. Complimenting that is validating their taste and nothing more. Which if done casually is really hard to be creepy or annoying. And as an added bonus, it's assumed you are saying they look good in it. So it's two compliments in one with almost no risk of doing it wrong. A guy at a bus stop asked me what my favorite snack was. We talked about popcorn for 10 minutes before the bus got there. By the time we boarded the bus, I was really wanting some popcorn and he asked me if I wanted to go see a movie and get some popcorn. Of course I did. That guy was a genius. Girls like snacks. Edit, since a few people are curious, we dated for 5 months. He was a great man. But we had different goals. I'm sure he's still hanging out in Austin. You can probably run into him at any first bar. How did he even establish a 10-minute convo about popcorn? He was a pro. Also your username checks out here. He was the smoothest guy the first ever met. So charming. I had no choice but to go out with him. I once said to a girl, hey, we are in the same math class, right? And now we are married. Always take math, guys. Always. That's the key. Edit, based on the responses I've received. Math is the way to go. Seems a lot of people out there have met their so due to a math class. And for those asking, yes, I did actually have a math class with her. No, I did not ask her this while in said math class. Rolls eyes, thanks for the laughs and stories, guys. 1 is the loneliest number. Don't automatically hit on me or just assert yourself. Bring in common interests or ask me a simple question like, oh, is that a Manchester Orchestra shirt? Or something like that. I'm super friendly and will talk to most people as long as I don't feel threatened or uncomfortable. If I have my headphones in or I'm reading a book, please don't start a lengthy conversation with me. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of guys don't think it's creepy to ask where I live if I'm waiting for public transport. If you've just met me and open with that, there's no way I'm telling you any more locally than in the town, city we are already in. I've asked guy friends about it though and they all seemed genuinely surprised that I thought it was creepy. Have gotten off buses early before because of this because I've felt uncomfortable with a stranger knowing where I live. Don't get me wrong. If we've been chatting and it's likely we'd chat again then it's okay to ask. But not in the first 2 minutes. Edit, for clarification. I understand that a specific address isn't being asked for. But if I'm on a bus you can guess it's somewhere along that route or if it's at a stop, which in my experience is more likely, you've got an even better idea to start with that I live close by. If you're immediately following up with because I know about XYZ which is local and interesting, that's probably fine and not creepy. Sorry to anyone whose favorite pickup line has been insulted. You like jazz? Keep an eye open for signs of wanting to be left alone. Like wearing headphones or reading a book. Edit, okay. So 7K upvotes. And an inbox telling me I'm trash and wrong. Okay. Reddit. As a guy it's the total opposite for me. I'm usually reading on my phone when I'm out by myself so I feel less awkward, lonely. Occasionally a stranger will start conversation and I'll immediately drop my phone because I'd much rather have someone to talk to. Hey, did you know that Pac-Man's original name was Puckman? It's based on _Paku Paku_, the Japanese term for chewing. But when the game went to America they got worried people would change the P to an F. So that's Pac-Man now. Finally a real answer. Hey, wanna see pictures of my cat? Would definitely work on me. One very important thing to keep in mind. Approaching with no perception of any common interests will make it difficult to have a genuine conversation that doesn't feel forced. For example, don't just approach someone random because you think they're pretty, only to have this be your only point of attraction. Many girls will write off guys who do this because their intentions are clearly superficial from the get-go. Sure, he was interested in starting a conversation, but his initial attention wasn't drawn by anything substantial. Instead, try to observe a possible common interest to start your conversation with. This could be anything from a band t-shirt from a band you like, to something you overheard her say earlier that shows you have something in common you can talk about. If you want to increase your chances of success with this, try meeting people at places where common interests congregate. For example, people who go to art exhibitions generally have an eye for art. People who go to comic conventions are generally nerdy. People who go to video game tournaments are generally gamers. People who go to sporting events are generally sport fans. This automatically gives you something to talk about, or a small base on which to build a more stable conversation. If you want to further avoid being creepy or annoying, don't go into it with a flirting mindset. Girls know that guys who flirt with them before even knowing who they are tend to be shallow men with superficial motivations. Get to know someone based on conversation first. If that conversation goes really well and you feel like you're hitting it off, and you've guessed that they're single, playfulness and mild flirting isn't out of the question. Tips for the nervous and socially awkward. Don't push yourself to get to know people who aren't reciprocating your conversational attempts, or who seem disinterested. It's usually not a reflection on you. It's a reflection of you both. The other person may just not be interested at the time, or may not share your enthusiasm for the topic at hand. That's okay. Simple "it's been nice chatting with you. See you around" will suffice. Don't force yourself to be interested in a person for the sake of conversation. Try expressing your interest in something within the environment and then bring the person into that conversation. Examples: art at a museum, cheer stunts at a sport event, video game demos at a convention, pool game at the bar. There's always something in the environment that they may already be engaged with. This is a good chance to talk to someone. It puts a lot less pressure on a stranger when they feel like your mutual interest in something else is the reason to continue the conversation, not your interest in them. This also takes pressure off of you, because you can direct get-to-know-you questions at them. Or you can talk about the thing in front of you both. If you get rejected or have a disinterested reaction at any point, remember that this is a reflection of your compatibility with that person. Not all people. Edit. Thanks to everyone for the massive support and appreciation on this comment. Dyadic relations is my field and I've helped a lot of people with this IRL. I'm more than happy to share this advice with Reddit. Thanks to whoever gave me Reddit Silver and now Gold. You're a true gem. Less than 3. Learned this one from Uncle Aaron. First, you lay your hand on her shoulder. Then you give her the look. Finally, you top it off with the underscore, hey underscore. I like your shirt. I don't get the reference but it looks cool. Boom, opens dialogue and an interest in what she's interested in. I believe I once told a girl it looks busy in here, as she rung me up for food. She giggled and said thank you, then turned into mush. I'd like to know what I said in her head. Whatever it was great. She thought you were attractive. Simple as. Drop a Magnum condom on the ground to demonstrate that you have a monster dong. Then play it real cool by shouting, "Hey, has anyone seen my Magnum condom? I may have dropped it nearby." Give a genuine compliment on something small you've noticed, an accessory, personality trait, or her laugh. Or try to notice something she's noticing, or looking at, and comment on it. Also, it helps if those compliments are aimed at something we have agency over. Your makeup is gorgeous, or your glasses are cute, or laughing at a joke she makes suggests you like things that we are controlling for ourselves. You look hot, or even, wow, you're really pretty, may be meant sincerely as completely innocent compliments, but they can come off in a way that suggests you're only admiring us for things like our bodies or our facial features. Make us feel like you like our styles or our senses of humor or skills or hobbies. You can be proud of how intelligent you are. But don't show it off. I get that guys try to prove to me that they're super smart. But in that certain context, to a complete stranger, it comes off as patronizing and belittling. Don't dumb yourself down, but try to let the girl do most of the talking at first. Let her warm the conversation up. And give up on trying to flirt with girls who are on the job. Store attendants, waitresses, cashiers, also the gym. Just don't. I promise you, she is not into it. I tend to carry a book or drawing book with me, and while from time to time, I sink into it and want my peace of mind. Whenever I lay it down quite a lot and look around or just decide to lay it down completely for that chapter inapproachable. And I love the question what I'm reading, or drawing, or what book I'm carrying. I can give you a real interest and opinion, and let's go from there. What I'm hearing here is you can only chat to women if they're wearing a band t-shirt and with no distractions whatsoever. Not an easy thing to find in your late 20s. Find anything you can in common. Just bring up your common interest. Make sure you ask open-ended questions, so the conversation doesn't seem forced. As long as it feels like a genuine interest, it won't come off as creepy. You like Huey Lewis and the News. Insert name? It won't come off as creepy if you start with something that seems like a genuine interest. I go to bookstores a lot, and a guy once chatted to me about how much he liked Murakami since I was looking at some of those titles. This could be something like a band shirt or a video game they're looking at playing. Basically, it's like you see us as a person with interests and feelings rather than someone you're just trying to bang. Not only does it make you seem like you're actually interested, but you'll most likely find a girl you actually have something in common with, rather than just a random human you find physically attractive. Question for girls of Reddit. Top response from a guy. I think a lot of people are different on this. The best advice is to pay attention to the responses you get. If I take my headphones out, answer you and then put them back in, then leave me alone. If you are getting one word, short answers, then also leave me alone. I'm just gonna list some common mistakes I've seen. Know that there are certain topics you should avoid right off the bat. Probably stay away from race, ethnicity, and comments on someone's physical appearance. Even positive ones can come off really creepy if you don't know what you're doing. Just be wise and avoid them. Also, don't initiate physical contact. Don't reach out and touch her arm or whatever. Super weird. Don't ask for too much personal information, even if it's in a casual way, where she lives, what she does, etc. This can be fine if it comes up organically, but just be conscious of the fact that you don't want to look like you're cataloging details about her. One time someone I had just met asked me, "What kind of car do you drive? Why do you need to know?" Also, learn the difference between a girl humoring you because she's trying to be polite and a girl who is genuinely enjoying the conversation. If it's the former, you should disengage. Tell her to have a nice day and leave her alone. Be aware of social norms and pay attention to body language. On the one hand, breaking social norms a little bit can help you stand out. On the other hand, people who don't get social norms can come across as creepy, unpredictable, or even dangerous. If the person you're trying to talk to turns away, looks away, closes up their body, etc., take the hint that you're stressing them out and make your exit. The last thing you really want to do is establish a first impression as a source of stress. Some people are into breaking conventions. Some people are going to be into chatting on the bus or whatever. Some people are going to be into it when they're in a group going to a nightclub and not into it on the morning commute. Pay attention to how they're responding and you'll probably save yourself a lot of very awkward conversations with girls who don't want to talk in that time and place.